it's a Crafty blind girl here, and I thought I would show you working with some printables, and I don't know if you've ever worked with them, so some have and some haven't. If you are way advanced and you know all about this, and this may not be your perfect video, but if you're newer to it, so this is a printable folio that is from Calico Collage. So anyway, I printed that out, and so there's several pages, and you get a little bit of instruction on at least how to do the base, and everything else decorating is up to yourself. Okay, so here I printed out on cardstock, and I have this Georgia Pacific, I think it's 100 or 110 pound paper, which I just love because it's real sturdy and matte finish. It works great, and nothing bleeds if you're single-sided printing on it. So for the folios and journal cards and journals and, you know, the covers and stuff, it's great. So anyway, you would print this out, and if you're printing two-sided, now this wasn't not in her kit. This was a watercolor that I made and scanned in so I could use it on that particular one. And then there are some pages that have little journal cards and things that you can use as pockets or whatever. So, like, you would just fussy cut this bird in the jar out. Actually, dragonfly. I'm gonna cut the jar away and let the dragonfly be free, but that's me. I'm not a things in jars person, but they're pretty flowers and different things you can print out. I again put that watercolor on the back. Her background paper for that one was dragonflies, and it was fine. It just, I wanted to have room for writing, you know, using as a journal card. So here's another page of it. And again, on the cardstock. So what I'm going to do, I made an extra on that, and then this is a different kit. So what I thought I will do is cut everything out, get the base folded, and I'll show you some ways that you can play with it. So I will be back in just a bit. If you're cutting a page that it doesn't go all the way across, you can just put your cutter, unless you want a fussy cut, which I don't, but you can put your cutter where you need to make the cut so that you don't, you know, interrupt the other artwork. And do that. And if you're doing a narrow cut, rather than come at one end or the other and risk messing up your paper, you bring your cutter to the middle of your paper and do it up and down from the middle, and then your other hand will be holding your work down. Okay, now I have my pieces cut out, so I'll just show you before I mess with them. Lots of pieces here. All right, so here's the basic folio part. These are the tags. I decided to let it be like a page marker, or, you know, in other words, a bookmark. So I'm going to leave that way. And these here are some journal cards. And all right, I'm back. And I'll show you the folio I made and show you a couple of other things. First of all, I save my edges, or if they're larger pieces, to be used for things like belly bands or stamping, because I also make cards, and I have another project I'm saving that for. So I'm just mentioning that some of your scraps will be in the bin and some will be useful. So here is the finished folio. One thing I will mention, she has score lines suggested here, and what I did was I did like two that were 1/4 inch apart to make it a little fat, because once you stuff things in pockets, the bottom gets harder to handle. So I'm just mentioning that. So on the inside, she has pieces in here with a woman, and I don't like humans in my journals. Just me. Some people do. I do not. So I flipped it over because I had that nice pretty watercolor background, and I fussy cut out one of the dragonflies, and then she had 3 little sayings, fly fancy. So I put that and made a tuck spot, or a side pocket here. and put one of the journaling cards in here. So it has that on this side. And most likely what I'll end up doing, oops, is to, I have some dragonfly die cuts I'll probably put on there. Okay, so I used one of her little peekaboo pockets. And I had used these two. These are like little tags, or I mean tickets. And I thought, well, I'll just leave that. It could be a bookmark. Or if they want, you know, there is space to journal something inside or put a little photo or something of that nature. So I left that. And then one of the little cards, which of course everything has that watercolor on the back. So open it up. And again, one of her little pockets. And I curled the edge over and I did glue it down so that it didn't stick up and get in the way. And I used another Fly Fancy. I left one of the dragonflies without fussy cutting that my friend can use. And then one of the cards. And I think that looks pretty when you take it out and there's the watercolor background. Not to say anything was wrong with her dragonfly background. I just liked that because one could journal on it a little easier if they wanted to. Okay, so then I did something a little different. I made so it could be a bookmark. It's got pockets. There's space to write. My friend likes little places to hide things or write things or whatever that are hidden from view. So I left that white. It's a little strange to me to leave it completely starkers, but I probably could have flipped it around. I had some of that with the watercolor on blank on the other side. So I used that, and I made, with some of the ephemera there, I made tuck spots. And so in this one, there are these two, and I just made it into a little booklet. Here's another one of the hearts. Now, I don't do the distress inks around the edges and all that. Some do, some don't. I just, most of the time, do not. And then this, whoops, I need to glue this a little better. So this is the other side, and then here also is a little tuck spot, and I have to get something else for that side, or my friend can just come up with something. So there's that. I'll just set it aside for a minute. The dragonfly that was in a jar, I cut the jar pieces off. I made a little tuck spot out of that. And I love these flowers. I could have pages and pages of just this. I love it. So pretty. So I put that one there. And then a little coordinating piece back here. So, whoops. And then I saved Lucky for my friend to do with what they will. So there it is. It's my fun little journal, or fun little folio with the Calico Collage Dragonfly kit. Now, of course, one can do all sorts of different things with it when you have your own. You certainly don't have to follow my lead in any way, but maybe this will give you a couple of ideas. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope that you will check out Calico Collage, and I'm going to put the link to this folio and to her shop into the show notes for you so that you can find her and just tell her Rhonda sent you. I'm not, I paid for this myself. I'm not getting anything for showing this. I just want to give you some inspiration. And I hope you'll like and subscribe and tap the bell so you get all of my vids right when they come out. And as always, cheers to your blissful life.